Well, that was certainly something. I think our discussion about this movie is going to go into some heavy, heavy spoilers, so we're just going to take a quick hot minute here to give our general thoughts on whether or not you should see it, if you're still waiting for our little...
Which is entirely up to you if you want to see it or not. That's your choice.
Entirely, 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Of course,
Yeah.
it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I think I don't know if it was a good movie. I don't know if it was a bad movie. I don't know what kind of movie. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to say it was a good movie or a bad movie.
It's like I see nothing. I hear nothing. I didn't
I don't
even
want
get
to
out.
say that Rotten Tomatoes should have given it anything higher than
Look at
anything or
like,
lower than anything. But
I mean, like, is it possible for 110%?
but I mean, maybe in hindsight it will turn out that maybe it shouldn't because of something that we weren't aware of. And in case of that, I'm going to say I understand.
You understand that you don't understand. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just in case it turns out there's something we didn't know about this.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, but in all truthful and truth and honesty, in all truth and honesty, we are going to go into some heavy spoilers.
Yes, we are.
And that's kind of unavoidable because this is a very provocative film. But on the face of it, I do think this is a worthy movie. I do like this movie quite a bit. I never want to see this movie again.
I know you don't ever want to see it again, and I know why.
Mm-hmm. But
It's because he hates them.
Yeah, it is a cringy movie, but it is purposefully cringy,
yes.
And it is cringe with a point. So by that measure, I can appreciate for what it was trying to do and what it successfully did, but I do not want to go through that again. That's just a visceral feeling.
I wouldn't really want to see it again in a theater, maybe, but like, I don't know. I guess renting it would be fine.
Yeah, like if you're showing this movie to another person, then yeah, that. Not for me though. Not for me. But I would definitely recommend this to people who had the slightest inkling of seeing it to go and see it.
I mean, I'd probably rent it, just to sit and watch with all my black friends. I mean, with my
I was about to.
Yeah, gay friends. Yes, something. Gay black friends.
What black friends?
I have kids that are gay black kids.
So I think that's a general recommendation from the both of us. So from here on out, spoilers.
But basically,
you have been warned.
So that's the kind of awkwardness.
Yeah, that is the out and out awkwardness of this movie. So I think let's not pussyfoot around. Let's shoot right to the heart of the issue here. Even though it is a good movie, and it is a well-made movie. It is a great first statement for a first-time director, Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
This is his first directorial for major feature film, and this is a triumph, all things considered.
Wow, really?
Yeah, this is his first directorial debut. This is his directorial debut.
Well, way to get people's attention.
Certainly. But with all of that said, and with the great setup, like from the previews you're getting, it's Black Stepford Wives. Oh, that's creepy as fucking shit. Like, is this going to be a movie about like the horror of gentrification? Is this going to be like a meditation on the like on the race relations of black and white and this is going to be like a brave movie, and it is a brave movie, but the ending. Okay, so you want to you just want to
spoilers.
You just want to put
spoilers. Apparently, pause. Old black people secretly want to be black.
You mean
old white people want to... Fuck! I did it wrong! God!
That's going in.
You son of a bitch! I did it wrong.
I didn't do anything. That was on you, man.
Old white people want to be black. That's the spoiler.
And all of a sudden, the okay. Whew. Let's really deconstruct this idea. Turns out, if you've seen the trailers, you notice that this is a very strange neighborhood that, with the few black people that are around, are acting really, really weird. And all of a sudden, you're trying to piece this together, and it turns out what is happening is that this particular family of people, they sucker in black people, or they just find black people. They just find black people, abduct them, hypnotize them into hypnotize them into extreme suggestibility, then switching their brains out of their bodies,
yes.
and then putting in old crusty white people into their bodies.
How do they lure these black men here?
Well, one particular black person. Keep in mind, there was a black guy.
There was one black woman. Yes.
Yeah, there was one black woman, and there was another black guy who was just in the neighborhood because he was given directions for something.
But you missed the part of the movie where they show... So he had to use the restroom at a certain point, so I'll fill in with that. I tried to explain to you as fast as I could during the movie. It was kind of a lot happened during that scene you missed, or a couple scenes. Name of the actor here. I've recognized him, but I don't recall from where. Do you?
No, I didn't.
So, okay. So the protagonist has a white girlfriend, and it kind of starts out kind of like Guess Who's Coming to Dinner kind of situation, and that's kind of how the trailers started out. And so they go to this town where her parents live, and they're just really, really white, extremely fucking white, just over the top white. And it turns out what you missed is that when he's looking through this, there's this little door in the room that apparently he never noticed until it opened up.
Oh my god, I just realized. This is being John Malkovich.
Yeah, the little door for John Malkovich is in there.
The little door from John Malkovich.
But they don't have the low ceiling.
They don't have the low ceiling, but it is the door, that little door for being John Malkovich.
So they have a John Malkovich door.
They have a John Malkovich door, and it leads to the process in which one brain is put into the side of another, so it is
That's way better than what actually happened.
Yeah, but...
Being Blackovich? Okay, so I have to explain this. Yeah. He goes in there, he's like, oh, the door's open, and they're about to leave and give an excuse because he's completely weirded out, and rightfully so, by all this creepy shit. And they're about to take off. And she's out of the room. He goes in there, immediately sees a box with pictures in it. And he looks through the pictures, and immediately it's just one picture after another of his girlfriend with random black men. Just a single guy with her in each photo. She just keeps this as a trophy case or something. And it's just oh shit, she's been luring each of these guys here. So they literally have been luring black men here with a white woman.
And the black guy at the beginning of the movie was being lured here by that woman?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. That's what I missed. But there was a black woman who, apparently, they say that they were, those black people, that black woman was, a caretaker for grandma and grandpa or something like that.
Yeah.
So she was just around, and then unfortunately she got apparently she got John Malkoviched. For lack of a better term, she got John Malkovich.
She got Blackoviched.
Mm-hmm. Now, okay. Here's where the movie kind of falls apart for me. This whole movie is just bludgeoning you over and over and over again about the racial politics of the situation.
And this is where I'm going to say this was way more of a comedy than it was a horror movie, because it didn't scare me at all at any point. Maybe a little bit at a certain point.
Just because of how creepy everyone was acting.
It was more awkward, but also hilarious, and you feel awkward because it's hilarious. But then it starts to get so over the top that you can't even feel weird about it, because it's just so ridiculously blown out of proportion. There's a fucking stuffed lion in his room. There's just one hit after another. Like I said, it's a fucking sledgehammer over the head. And there's he's just, he gets into bed and there's this stuffed lion sitting next to him.
And he just kind of points the light.
Turns it around so it's not looking at him. It's just
he goes upstairs, and hanging over the stairs is a gigantic spear on the wall. And I was thinking that the movie's going to point attention to that, but no, they didn't.
No, it was just
a spear there. That was actually the more subtle gesture of this movie.
Yeah.
But there was nothing subtle, nothing else subtle about this goddamn movie. But holy fucking shit! You get the tone of this movie. It's not trying to pussyfoot around what's happening here. Nor should they. And I applaud this movie for not doing that. I mean, it's not scary. It's not scary. It's kind of hilarious because it's like one heartbeat away from the family putting on a fucking minstrel show.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point,
like they play bingo. They eat Cheerios out of a fucking bowl with the milk in a separate glass with a straw in it. It's just. I don't know if this was their original intent or if they made a movie and then it seemed so like just landmines everywhere that they decided they need to comedy it up in order for it to not be so volatile or something.
I have no idea. I mean, like Jordan Peele is a comedian, and he does, and like he said that he does feel really, really on edge and anxious if he's the only black person in the area, in the room, and if you reverse the situation, then that would be completely understandable for anyone. Yeah. But holy crap, though! Like, so the movie is just. The movie is surrounded with these moments of like uncomfortable like racial politics everywhere, like old crusty white people asking the main character Chris. I forgot the actor's name, but I do know the main character's name is Chris Washington. Which again, if you remember the character's name, then at the very least, that's one step towards building a relationship with the audience of the character, the protagonist in this case. So Chris is constantly being barraged by old crusty white people and their questions about like, what's the black experience? What's, like, oh God, you're a fit one, aren't you? And
yeah. I don't remember any of the white people's names, to be honest with you. They all looked alike.
I think that's by design. I really do think that's by design. So he, like, oh, you're a fit one. Oh, you're this and you're that. So again, it's all harkening back to. It's very much a slave trade. It's very much a slave trade.
Yes.
So you're thinking like, okay, are they using hypnosis to basically take black people back to to the antebellum South?
So, white girl, I don't remember her name either. She apparently, love interest white girl. She really was like the only one of two like main characters that were female, I guess, and that were white and female. And then there was a couple like old women, I guess. But yeah, there was a lot of old white men in this movie. But she
not the least of which is Bradley Whitford.
Yeah, that was
like I didn't even recognize him. He looks like Richard Dreyfuss in this movie.
Yeah, he's been doing some more serious roles lately, I guess. But yeah, so where was I going with this? I don't fucking remember now.
But yeah, so like, and it really culminates. I stepped out because of I had an emergency.
I wasn't sure if it was just too cringy for you.
No, I had an emergency, so I stepped out, went to the bathroom. But during my absence, apparently there was an auction going on.
Oh, that's what it was. I was gonna get at.
Yeah.
So the love interest's mother is a hypnotist. Like actual like. Has like she uses a tea cup and a spoon to trigger, and she stirs it around, and that kind of hypnotizes you. And she apparently manages to get Chris to sit down for a session with her, unbeknownst to him, and she just starts stirring it, and he's like, oh, wait, are we doing one of these? And by the time he's able to realize that, it's too late, and I think you were there for this.
Oh, yeah.
And she hypnotizes him. And there's this like whole kind of under the skinny kind of scene where he sinks into his chair. They showed a little bit of it in the trailer, and ends up in this black void.
Yeah, it is under the skin.
Yeah, and basically he wakes up the next morning and he suddenly is no longer a smoker. He was a smoker, and she was saying she could help him with that. and apparently it worked. And though it was really creepy, he's kind of happy about that, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the where it starts, where it really reveals the sinister nature of what's happening, is what I said when it brings up the auction. And guess who buys him? Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler. Fucking Milton from Office Space, also the voice actor for Bill Dauterive, King of the Hill, and oddly enough, the father of Gideon from Gravity Falls.
Wow.
Yeah, same guy.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? I feel so bad for knowing all these.
So cool uncle.
Yeah. But,
oh no! Wait, the father or the uncle? I mean, the uncle?
No, the not cool uncle. No, the father of Gideon. The bad guy from Gravity Falls.
Oh! Sorry, I'm mixed up.
Not Grunkle.
Oh, okay,
not
so the submissive father.
Yeah, not Grunkle Stan.
Yeah. My stars.
Yeah, like
that guy.
That guy. But but in any case, he buys him because he's blind and he knows that Chris is a great photographer. Yeah. So I just want to be able to see again. So he buys him. He gets conked over the head and is about to be.
Well, actually, I tried to rephrase that. He wasn't actually conked over the head. She hypnosised him.
Okay.
She managed to get the teacup. I'm sure it works that way every time. You just get a teacup and hit it and out. Mm-hmm. That's a bad trigger because that can happen a lot in different situations.
Mm-hmm. But, which I do wonder. How in the God? I'll put a pin in that one. I'll come back to that because we're still ramping up to all of this. He manages to get himself out because he picked apart the chair he's latched onto. He managed to pick apart the leather and get the stuffing, and he was able to lean down and get the cotton in his ear, so that way the sound can't be used against him again.
What was weird about that is he was still able to hear the guy on the screen and answer the questions he was asking.
Yeah, but that was after.
Oh, was that after he actually managed to get it in his ear? Okay.
Yeah, that was after.
Okay, good continuity then. Okay.
Yeah, so that was after. So he makes his escape, but we're still dealing with the fact that, okay, so the plan isn't that they are kidnapping black people to make them slaves again, which I get it. It's really, on the face of it, sounds really, really goddamn uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But it comes back to, no, they're just abducting black people so that they can put their brains in their bodies. Huh. You do know that, black people don't exactly have it very good here, generally speaking. I mean, you're all rich. So I guess
apparently, to quote them,
yeah.
Well, the question is asked when he is in the chair about. Apparently, they say that apparently this back and forth Q&A period after the initial hypnosis, they actually have tier 1, 2, and 3. And tier 2 is both of the client and the Malkovich slave, both apparently talking to each other. So. He asks the client, Office Space, asks. Oh no! Sorry, the other way around. Actually, Chris asks him why black people. I have to ask, and he says, well, I don't really know exactly, but I mean, see, black people are cool, and they're strong, and they're in fashion. And this is basically the reason everybody gives when they're asked about stuff like that. Yeah. It's like. Oh, the pendulum's really been on white people for a while, but now it's really taken a hard swing back to black people, to colors, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
And if you're black, how do you feel about that? I mean, are you in fashion that much?
Do you how do you feel that old white people want to be you?
Yeah. Do you get that feeling?
I sincerely don't get that feeling at all. But
I mean, then again, we're not old white people.
We're not old, rich white people. Yes, we are not. We are white people, but we're not old and rich.
Yeah.
And that might be the deciding factor. It could very well be that the movie wanted to paint them out to be just how racially ignorant they are.
Yeah.
By just having them think like,
or they were trying so hard not to be racist that they bought into their trying not to be racist and
yeah,
and became these like completely awkward I love everything black so that people don't think I'm racist people or something. I mean, it's just, but this movie is so weird that you could believe that.
You could believe that, but that really doesn't make for like it always kind of deflates everything that it was building up to.
Because they're like, oh, black people are so cool. We love black people, and it's like, well, actually, that is the reason you're giving for wanting to be them. So
yeah,
okay,
it's okay. But again, Bill Dauterive, Milton Dauterive. Just goes, like, I don't really buy into that. I just want your eyes. It's like, okay.
He's kind of like the only person who is not like brainwashed or completely whitewashed or whatever it is. Like he's kind of a down to earth guy, despite the fact that he wants to be inside of another man.
Like he is like he basically just says like, I don't care about being black. I just want to be able to see. So I don't care one bit whatsoever. Now. But that really begs the question. You have your daughter of this family purposefully go out to black men to lure them into your house to abduct their brain, kidnap their brains, and so that way old crusty white people can move in and like, oh, isn't this nice? I guess because they never leave their township, they never experience anything like that. But then you remember then you remember everything that was all happening up to that point, where when it was all happening up to that point, you just realize, wow, that's horrible, but it's not. But it feels like the plot was building up to something way more racially charged than what is actually happening. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is racially charged, but it's not like this lit Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
It's not like this, like, we yearn for the days when we can own black people again. Yeah. It's not like that.
They didn't take that turn. They didn't really... It didn't feel like leaving the theater, oh shit, there's gonna be a fucking racial war.
No,
shit, it wasn't like that.
No, it's just invasion of the...
That was intentional.
Yeah, it's just this really... I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily think that if the movie did, it's just that they're, making black people slaves again. I don't... If that would have been... If necessarily have been a better movie, but it definitely would be a more dreadful movie. It would definitely... Like, it's taking the notion of slavery and taking the notion of the racial history of America and casting it as this dark, as this dark, scary horror movie.
This definitely had some black humor in it.
You had to get that one in. I know.
I had to.
I know. You literally had to. Some mother hypnotized you into actually saying that.
I had to do it.
You were compelled to do it. But if I can have a moment and just say that even though the movie's final turn really deflated a lot from it, mm-hmm. I don't think it ruined the movie. But it is definitely like a lot of this is purposefully cringy, but it's cringy with a point. Is like how uncomfortable it is, not just for white people to, basically talk down to black people, saying like, oh, he's, like I would have voted Obama a third time if I could.
Oh God.
Yeah, like not only how
it was mostly cringy in the beginning because you didn't know where they were going and how absurd it was going to get. So the lead up was the most cringeworthy.
Yeah, like the try-hard liberals who go out of their way to try to make black people feel like they're their ally, that they're their allies. Not only is it uncomfortable for white people, it's uncomfortable for black people. It's uncomfortable for everyone involved.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'd imagine if I was black, I would love to be able to look at a white person and say, like, I know that you don't think of me as an enemy. You don't think of me at all. That's fine with me. Don't try to be buddy up to me just because, you feel like you got to make up for something.
Yeah.
So it's just an uncomfortable situation for everyone. And the movie is right in portraying it as this unnecessary, cringe fest that it is. But from there and from the horror elements, it the movie was going in a direction that it ultimately didn't go to, and I found that very, very disappointing, and I found that very, not, I found it very. It's a hard movie to. I find it made it for a movie very hard to rewatch, especially when you find out that the cringiness has a point, but the point is diminished by that. Like, oh no, we just want to be black people specifically, not just young fit Asian people, not even younger fit white people, specifically black people because they're going to be in fashion. I have no
idea. Maybe we are just completely unaware, just out of touch, like not as out of touch as they are, but out of touch, but or maybe it's where we live. Yeah. But it's like I'm not hearing about like suddenly, oh man, it's so much easier, to be black.
No, I mean like the only people who are talking like that are uninformed white people. So
yeah,
that's
what I'm saying. Like, are these guys so out of touch that they watch a rap video on MTV or something and they suddenly think the whole world is like that, and they're like, oh shit, we got to become black before it's too late.
I have no inkling as to what they're trying to do. Like do they? But like, here's the thing: like the people who are saying like, oh, blacks have it so easy today, or like, what are the black people complaining about? Or like, well, blacks are so cool right now. Are not saying that out of envy. They're saying that out of anger.
Yeah.
So I'm not connecting this whatsoever. This movie lost me in that.
Yeah, it's just regard. It was completely not what's going on.
Yeah.
With that group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Also, I don't think it's a coincidence that this movie was filmed in Alabama.
Yeah. Huh.
Even though the ending was really let the wind out of my sails for this movie. Really, like, okay, this is cringy, but it's making it worth it, and this has all been for nothing. I don't want to. I said I like the movie, and I do. I think the movie, for the most part,
I liked it as a weird comedy, a weird, uncomfortable comedy.
It's funny. It's funny enough to be considered an intentional comedy, but I don't find the cringiness to be funny. I think the laugh that you get out of that is the laugh of like, I'm laughing because I don't know what else to do. Please get me out of this situation.
Yeah, but then again, I think they made the white people so white that it made all of us, feel much more black. By comparison.
Maybe, by comparison, maybe.
All right. You fucking eat, like, Fruity Pebbles in a bowl with no milk, but keep the milk in a separate glass with a straw in it while you're eating it raw?
The only people I know who do that are lactose intolerant, and they don't have the glass of milk.
Well, obviously. I mean, these people are beyond white. Like, it's the whitest thing. I don't even know. We need a new word for how completely white that is. But it's a back and forth. Help me out here.
Yeah, but I do want to dovetail off of that particular scene because the actress who plays the love interest, by God, what a turn for her.
Yeah.
Like if the guy who played Chris, if he was the heart and soul of the movie, she is the the spine and the knuckles of this movie. Like, unfortunately, I was in the bathroom during her initial turn, but God damn it, from her with her hair down throughout the first half of the movie, where she was being a good girlfriend, to the last act where she reveals herself to be quite possibly the most evil out of all four of them, out of her and her brother, who basically there to be dumb muscle and to make shades of Django Unchained references.
Yeah, so the guy in there.
Her brother.
Tries to do his best impersonation of Leonardo DiCaprio from Django Unchained, and he quotes him almost verbatim.
Yeah, basically he talks about jiu-jitsu and like your genes, you'd make an unstoppable fighter. Like he's sizing him up to be a Mandingo fighter.
But you see, that's what I'm saying about as far as you having an audience that I think this is where they cut the tension. Is that everybody, regardless of your background or ethnicity, you can look at this movie, see these extremely out of the like over the top white people, and you can all laugh at them because nobody is that white. Nobody.
Nobody's that white. And
They created people who were so white that no one could possibly be them.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it so that you can be there. You can be white in the theater, a white male, even a rich. You could be a rich old white male. Well, maybe not a rich old white male. You might feel awkward then.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a perspective for this movie. I think that was the
think,
hard one.
I think the movie doesn't care about appealing to the 1%.
Yeah, exactly. But you could just be, white male like we are in this audience and look at this shit and be like, I can laugh just fine at that. Because that is so far from reality. That is so out of.
Mm-hmm.
It's so disconnected.
Or it could very well be like, Jordan Peele just looking at, trying to look at white people's behavior and just seeing like, why do you do shit like this? Or why do you say this kind of crap? Because he did write and direct this movie. So like every one of those conversations about like, I would have voted for Obama a third time and all of that is more than likely an informed viewpoint from a black perspective of like, white people, tone it down. Just like we know that not all of you are racist Klansmen, but for fuck's sake, don't be that guy too. Don't be this guy too.
I mean, they did everything short of like bathing in a bath full of mayonnaise.
Mm. Or like eating nothing but beef stroganoff and macaroni and cheese.
That's actually pretty close. I mean, again, I mentioned like the Fruity Pebbles in the milk.
The loops. Yeah, the Fruit Loops.
Or whatever.
Yeah, there were Fruit Loops.
I mean...
Yeah, it's... Again, it goes beyond the pale. But I want to say that... Go back to the actress who just... Oh, God. Like, from, like, bubbly, lighthearted girlfriend to, like, cold-hearted bitch. The visual transformation of her hair just kind of slicked back into that ponytail.
And the delivery of that phone, where she was on the phone with a friend of Chris, and she's doing her impersonation, but with a complete stone cold face, just dead face. Oh yeah, I don't know where he is right now. God,
I'm worried about him.
Yeah, gosh, when's the last time you saw him? Just cold. Just blank expression. Yeah, that was really good performance.
It was a great performance, and I also want to bring up his friend, the comedic relief, but good comedic relief in this movie. Mm-hmm. The one guy who I forgot his name, but I forgot the character's name and the actor's name, unfortunately. But he is legitimately funny in this movie, and he gets like the hurrah at the end of the movie where he arrives to save Chris. And it's such a great moment because it was actually one of the best bits of foreshadowing I've seen in a major motion picture in a long time. Where at the beginning of the movie, a cop pulls them over because a deer hit their car, and the cop basically asks Chris, like, can I see your ID? He's like, but he wasn't the one driving. I didn't ask him if he was driving. I asked to see his ID, and then she basically fends off the cop. And so when a cop car arrives, when Chris is about to choke her out half to death after she's been shot, a cop car comes, and she's trying to play the victim, like, help, help! And then the car door opens, and you say, wait a minute, airport, and it's not the racist cop, it's the cool TSA agent friend, yeah! And the big joke at the end is when Chris just looks at him and says, how did you know where I am? And his friend just says, we're TSA. We get shit done.
So you did like the ending for somewhat.
I like the absolute ending. I like the way it would build up to that finale.
How did you feel about the murder spree?
Well, the murder spree
by Chris.
Oh, the murder spree when Chris just goes full on Sam Peckinpah.
Well, where he goes unchained.
Yeah, where he basically turns into blanking on his name. Dustin Hoffman from Straw Dogs.
Oh,
from Straw Dogs, and he just goes uncorks and he just kills everyone after kills the brother, kills Bradley Whitford brutally.
Whole Kaiser Sose, your whole family.
He grabs a bocce ball and he fucking clocks the brother's head.
Oh yeah, the Leonardo impersonator.
Clocks him right over the fucking head with it. Then he he takes Bradley Whitford and he just like stabs him in the fucking throat with the fucking antlers from a deer.
I gotta say, I really enjoyed that. I mean,
he gored him, yeah, with the deer.
I like the ending, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
Because I mean, as you mentioned, with the the friend showing up to save the day, and in between that murder rampage, I mean, that was not bad. That was pretty good. I really, really enjoyed watching those rich old white people get killed.
Yeah,
that's one thing I'm definitely sure about.
Yeah, that's, you know, like if it wasn't for the fact that like the whole plot is building up, the whole plot built up to this really weird turn. If it was just going to be like, yeah, we just sold you out to this rich guy and you're going to be just be his photographer, but you're not going to be photographing what you want, and it's just like, you know, if it wasn't for that, that'd be fine. You know, if it wasn't for that, this whole ending would have been even more rapturously enjoyable. The only thing about the ending that I really didn't like, the only thing I didn't like was that the mother, who should have gotten it way worse, you know, basically gets a knife stabbed in her throat from off screen. I don't know. She
should have gotten it harder. Way harder.
You know, yeah, I wanted him to just, like, take her by the fucking waist and just ragdoll her through a table and just, like, old school Triple H powerbomb her.
So much more with that. Yeah.
Just fucking powerbomb the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Fucking
take a barbed wire bat.
Yeah, I mean, like, her, like, she...
I really was hoping that he was going to kill her with a teacup or a spoon, or both.
Like stab her in the eye with a spoon or something?
Yeah, like, or just Riddick it, you know, I'm going to kill you with your teacup.
Or even better, like, just like, he like, Khal Drogo's it, and just pour hot tea right down her throat, and just...
Ooh, yeah.
Just burn her from the inside out.
Yeah, she didn't get it hard enough.
No, she did not. Grandma and Grandpa, who have unfortunately been...
Come to think of it, neither did Girlfriend.
Yeah, no, she got it pretty hard.
Well, she got a shot. Okay, well, I will say
she
a rifle blast to the stomach.
Rifle blast to the stomach, then had her...
that does hurt.
Then got her shit choked half to death.
But she didnn't die.
She didn't die.
He couldn't finish it because she said, I love you, and he was remembering their romance. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and then, but she got it... She didn't get a spectacular death, but she got probably the worst death.
Okay, it wasn't the most visually spectacular, but it was probably the most drawn out, painful one because bleeding to death from a rifle blast to the stomach is not pleasant.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. You contort for like 5 minutes. I
guess you choke on your own blood too. I guess that actually is pretty bad.
So like I go back to that speech and the things to do in Denver when you're dead. When he's like, you don't so much die as contort for 5 minutes, and then you die. So
in hindsight, he probably would have done her better.
She probably got the worst of it. I mean, the brother did try to come back, so he took so he got a knife to the fucking patella, and then he just curb stomped his ass.
Oh, that was a good spot, yeah.
Yeah, that was a good fucking spot. Wish it was a little bit more visceral. It was
He did a couple curb stomps, and he's leaving, and he comes back and finishes. It's like, no, one more. One more time. One more time. And then it gives us the mother of all curb stomps.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Grandma and Grandpa also have to get in on this. Grandma is taking over the body of the quote-unquote maid. How is the fuck... You're basically putting your grandma... You're putting your mom... I don't know if it's, Richard Dreyfuss, Bradley Whitford, Richard Dreyfuss as mom and dad, or if it's going to be, or if it was the wife's mom and dad. But you're basically turning your mom into a glorified waitress, not waitress, a maid. I don't know. I mean, you do this to switch bodies so that way you could live longer and live a more fruitful life. But you're going to live a longer, more fruitful life by serving your hand and foot to your own son and daughter.
That's actually a really good point. I hadn't really considered that until now.
So yeah, again,
that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that is pretty.
Jeez, like, is this how you treated your their grandma before this?
Yeah, is it that like when it's not a like they're entertaining guests for another reveal? Is it just that that she's just a grandma and she just knits? It's like, these questions really make me wonder. And Grandpa is the landscaper.
Yeah, like the grandparents got it bad.
Yeah, like they're a groundskeeper and a maid.
What the hell did they do to get this?
Other than participate in...
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean.
I mean, comparatively speaking, Jesus goddamn Christ.
Maybe they were like they were so old they were going senile, and this was like the only thing they could like do or something.
I have no goddamn clue.
So they had like healthy bodies but they couldn't really think very well, so they had to do menial labor or something. It's still fucked up though.
Mm-hmm. That's why this whole twist is just the absolute pits for me as far as this movie's concerned.
Yeah, that's kind of broken. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Grandma eats it. Well, fortunately, depending on depending on how you look at, Grandma eats it in a car crash, and Grandpa almost kills Chris, but Chris manages to snap a photo and get him back to like one last moment of clarity.
Oh yeah, did we explain that yet?
No,
flashing the phone.
Flash photography manages to reconnect the brain from the brainstem, the last little sliver of consciousness.
Which is why the grandfather kills himself after he is able to assist Chris
and shoots her right in the gut. I don't know. I mean, like, on one hand, this is kind of a disappointing movie because of that twist, and it does really put a damper on everything. But the more I think about it, the more I feel like even if it was like where we thought the movie was going, if it was a purely slavery situation, I still not want to see this movie again. But I think I would have respect the movie more.
Yeah, in all seriousness, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because if they went full,
full tilt, white people are trying to enslave black people again.
I mean, like, it could have been a structurally better movie, or a more scary movie.
It would definitely be, for ballsy as this movie is, it would be even more ballsy if they double down on that.
But on the other hand, I don't know if that's really something that people are going to want to sit through. So, some people might really enjoy it, but other people are not going to. So,
well, the spoilers, the people who aren't going to enjoy that wouldn't even enjoy this too, because it's not like white people are left off the hook as far as this movie is concerned. Especially when you consider that there is not one single good white person in this movie. Not to say that as any kind of like, why isn't there a white hero in this movie, but as a statement of fact, there just isn't.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So, oddly enough, there is one Asian dude though who looked like
that was interesting.
That was the fucking weirdest part of this movie. There is an Asian dude who was entertaining the idea. It was
really just another funny moment because he was the only one.
He was the only.
Wasn't like either black or white.
He was this rich Asian dude who was entertaining. Who I guess within the context of the scene was entertaining the idea of putting his brain in a black person's body.
But then there's the weird, creepy part. The creepy part. He wouldn't have probably been an actual. Was everybody okay? So was the Asian guy another person in his body?
No.
Or was he just a normal Asian guy?
He was just a normal Asian guy.
Because otherwise he wouldn't have the accent.
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't have the accent, and otherwise why would you put your brain in the body of an old Asian dude?
Okay, good fucking point again.
It's like I've always wanted to be Mr. Miyagi.
Okay, that was pretty stupid. I really I really didn't wrap my brain around that one.
Not to disparage old Asian men, but if the point of this whole procedure is to put your brain in a lively, youthful, strong body, why would you put it in an old, crusty Asian dude's body?
Oh, good lord! Unless that guy was like really just high profile or personality wise, just like. Fuck all. I'm trying here to rectify my missight. That was stupid. But where's the motivation?
Where's the motivation? So I see you signed yourself up for our procedure. Is there any kind of body?
Milk it.
Is there any kind of particular type you're looking for. It's like, we could put you in a woman's brain, you know, if you always wanted to see how the other half lives. Like, no, old Asian dude.
What? Are you sure? We don't really have any in stock.
We have to special order it. We have to special order an old Asian dude to service your fucking needs. I'm not even sure where to go in Alabama to look for an old Asian dude.
It's like, who do we send to go lure the old Asian dude in here? Same girl. Same girl.
Same. But
like, she has to do all the work.
Yeah.
All that work.
Yeah. But I gotta wonder. I do wonder if they kept it up, would I like this movie more? And I think I would have. But I still would come to the same conclusion that I would never want to see this movie again. Excuse me. I don't want to make it sound like watching this movie is a requirement. Like, do it and get it over with. I don't want to.
No, it's just because he has a personal thing with cringe humor, so. Or
cringe in general.
In general, yeah.
So
I could watch it again, yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't. Cringe didn't bother me that much, and it was way less awkward than I thought it was going to be. Honestly, like talking about the movie, you know, seemed more awkward than watching it.
Yeah.
And actually talking about it hasn't really felt that awkward.
No, not until because for a movie of this nature, they didn't really drop the N-bomb, which I felt. Yeah. Which, really kind of speaks to the kind of level-headedness, which is a weird word to use to describe this movie, but it is.
Yeah, like Mark said, you just get we should, we thought we were gonna have to come in here with shirts that say, I love black people.
It was like, black people are A-okay.
Yeah, and
it's like, but
put a giant landmine right on the table, just like we know where it is. But yeah, it hasn't been.
Yeah, that's. But I think for the most part I'm done. I'm done here. What about you? Any last remarks?
Watch out for rich old white men. They're gonna get you.
Especially if you're a black athlete.
What?
Wait,
I'm just lingering for awkward. I was just trying to make it awkward.
You should have held on to that longer. You should have just what? Well, why
would you say that? Why would you say that?
Just, it's just a part of the movie. What part of what movie?
I don't know what movie you watched.
It's like you've just been neuralized or something. So next week is Old Man Logan. I know the movie is just called Logan, but fuck you, it's Old Man Logan.
Oh yeah, last thoughts. But before that is reverse. This movie in reverse.
Like a bunch of rich old black people want to get into white bodies.
Now there is a fucking.
Now that's a fucking hysterical movie. It's like, white people won't give us our fair shake. Fine, we'll just become white. We're coming for you, white people. We're coming for you. How's that for your uncomfortable part of this vlog?
Oh my god.
It's like, come on, black people, I got you. I got your back.
It's way easier to act awkward being over the top white, because it's like, because it is awkward. Actually, it's kind of awkward.
But the thing is, they're playing up to the stereotypes of rich white people in cinema. So if you were trying to do the exact 1-to-1 ratio reverse of that, it would be that well, unfortunately, most black roles call for gangster thugs.
Yeah, so it would just be a bunch of.
So it would be like a black woman is trying to get this white man to their home in the projects.
Yeah.
Where they jerry-rig this contraption where they're trying to do backwoods surgery to put their brains.
Oh fucking Lord! And so you have this ghetto inevitably full of white people.
It's like. What the hell?
What the hell? So this
but they're like Eminem and bugging.
And so the white person, the white visitor, Chris in this
metaphor
instance is coming here and seeing this ghetto full of these white people who are just so awkwardly like Eminem and Kid Rock. I guess Kid Rock.
No, not Kid Rock. He's too southern.
No, you're right. Yeah, way too southern.
But it would be it would be like Macklemore and fucking...
Yeah, Macklemore.
And Macklemore, Eminem, and just...
What was I saying? Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
He's like the worst example.
Not that there's many good examples of
Like he did rap back in the day. I don't know what the fuck now he's like Go America.
No, now he's just running for Senate.
Oh, don't remind me. But yeah.
But even though that thought process, that thought experiment about that kind of movie would be hysterical, that movie will never get made. Especially when you consider like the 1-to-1 ratio where this white TSA agent comes in and saves the day. We're the TSA. We're gonna save you from the black people.
That would have been way funnier.
It'd be funnier, but that movie's never gonna be fucking made.
Like, who'd you cast in that?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
If we're gonna double down, let's double down.
He would be the father.
No, he'd have to be the TSA agent again.
Oh, would he be the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, everything is 1-to-1. So like black family. So of course
you're right. It would. Oh my god. Oh.
We're having a little too much fun. We're having a little too much.
Yeah.
Old Man Logan next.
Oh yeah, it's been a good movie so far for 2017 on the whole. It's been pretty good.
Let's see if we can continue that stride.
And I'm sure this is going to be enjoyable, if not for the fact that they spoiled the biggest twist that I think they have. Well, okay, hopefully not the biggest twist. I hope there's something else in there that they revealed, but
besides the fact that she's X-23.
I really did not want to or need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest gripe with the film right now. That pissed me off. I'm happy that she's in it, that X-23 is in it, and that's a really cool angle. I just didn't want to know.
Mm-hmm. Till next time.